Good morning, guys. It is Motivation Station with Rose and Sanjay. Rose, oh, I think I lost you for a second. Let me bring you. Oh, John's here. John's here, but I don't have Rose. So I'm gonna bring. Oh, wait. Okay, hold on. Too much is
There she
happening.
goes.
Good day. Yeah.
Hello, John. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Do,
Can I-
Fabulous.
yeah.
Fabulous. We are fabulous. We are fabulous.
Uh, I think I fixed it. Okay, now I think I hear. You guys hear me?
Yes.
yeah.
Oh my God, what a it's been a crazy morning. First I
Johnny.
had like no audio working and then we were I was trying to fix the audio for other stuff and then John, I thought you weren't making it and now you're here. But it's all good. How
Yeah.
are you,
It's,
buddy?
Yeah.
it's
I'm doing
good.
all right.
It's good.
I got a new phone, so new things. Trying to work out a new phone. Um, it doesn't have the internet for some reason. When I just go to this a website from Facebook,
Mm,
but it asked me if I wanted to join with if I wanted to go through Chrome. Okay, let's try Chrome. So I did Chrome, and here I am.
there you go. That's what I like to hear. Um
Yeah.
I was gonna say
That's amazing.
first of all, welcome to the podcast again. It's nice to have a repeated guest. I know it's been almost like 6 months, 7 months now since we last seen you, so it's good to see you.
Everything's smooth and we still have
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
audio.
right. But
Uh,
tell us what's
it
been
was
going on. How's everything going?
Well, so far going okay. Business is picking up. I have my lights on right now. I'm at the training center. So
Okay.
at the training center, I have no internet yet, but I got my lights on, so that's a start. I was using the internet from the bakery, but he's deciding to switch to something else, and he turned off his internet. Like what? I told him, I said, listen, I could pay you half for it, and that'll make it easier on you. I don't think he heard or understood what I was trying to say. So he's going to go to something else, and we'll cross that bridge later. I got my lights on, so that's a start. Oh, I'm getting some feedback here.
Yeah.
What I'm doing at the training center is showing
it's
up
not relaxed.
and being available.
Hmm.
I have laptops for sale, or some computers and laptops. So I have equipment for sale. I'm trying to get that going so I can keep the lights on, keep the doors open, move to the next step. Next
Hmm.
step is going to be for the Club Senior. It's a computer club for senior citizens, $65 a month. We meet 4 times a week, and I do a presentation and then questions and answers afterwards. And so I got to advertise for that. My goal is if I'm not doing anything at the training center, then I'm focusing on trying to build on the next project.
Of course, yeah. No, I feel like it's a ongoing thing. Like you find one thing, you reach the peak there, and then it's like, what else can I do to further improve and build and stuff like that. Yeah, I've been seeing like a lot
Yeah,
of like posts on like Facebook, and um, we definitely have to get I think more social media revenues going in general, but definitely put out
yes,
some shout outs for you. I'll add your links and stuff like that to the YouTube page when I get the chance to. But no, I'm happy to hear that. I know that I've been wanting to come by. It's just like the beginning of the year is rough, and then like now it's finally summer.
hmm
But I've seen some of your videos. And I'm like, oh, I really got to visit John and see how he's doing. But I'm glad to hear that business is picking up. I'm glad to hear that you're trying to make some updates, some changes, stuff like that. Offering classes definitely to people who are not as computer literate is always great, and and
yeah.
I don't think there's a better teacher than you at this point, because of
Well, thank you,
your
thank you.
kind demeanor, your personality, and just like your willingness to not give up on people who you know it's super tough for them to use computers, and I think I feel the same too, because like I mean right now I work in like service desk, so people call me all the time, and it's like kind of like the
hmm
same story. They just they're trying to figure out how to use computers and how to operate this and that, and it's like, like this is not my job to do, so I just want to they want to just be able to use it um to do whatever they need to do there, and then that's it. But
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
some people actually do want to learn because unfortunately we live in a time where everything is technology. Everyone has to either
Yeah.
use a computer, a phone, something. You do that too, right? Like mobile devices. Do you show people how to use like phones and
Oh yeah, show them how to
tablets?
use the phones, tablets, computers, TV. If they need help with their microwave oven or something, the cars, definitely cars, because those are new technology now. You can't buy a car and have an analog radio,
Yeah, yeah,
or,
right,
or
yeah.
just listen to music. All I want to do is listen to the PLJ or NBC or ABC, whatever the channels are out there. You got to actually find them. You got to find how to get to the radio part of your radio, so you can go to the stations, and then you got to figure out how to change the stations once you get there. And
Yeah,
so,
exactly. Now it's
yeah.
you would think it would make it a little bit easier for everybody, but it's like it
Mm,
all this technology is made for people who know how to use technology, and the
yeah,
people who don't are kind of stuck in certain senses. And it's crazy how quickly it's advancing. I mean, I have a 3-year-old kid now, and this kid, she knows how to use my phone almost better than me at this point. She'll just grab the
yeah,
phone. She's like, "Oh, can I look at videos on your phone?" She'll grab my phone, volume up, scroll down to YouTube, open it up, click whatever she wants to watch. And I'm like, at this age, I didn't. Obviously it was a different generation, a different time, but like,
mm,
even me, it took a while to master the art. But I am envious that I do feel the younger generation now can learn a lot quicker, and I don't know if it's because we learned and like we're able to pass on that information to them like better.
yes, yeah,
Technology was definitely like around the 2000s is I think when it started getting really big, and within the 20 years, like between like 1960 to 2000, like the way technology advances was a lot slower than from 2000 to even 2025. um
yeah,
but I think because we're so used to using technology that when it comes to our kids, it's easy to show them, and it's just crazy how pick up they how quick they pick up, I should say.
yeah,
Do
yeah.
you
Well, they're pretty much born into it, so it's
Yeah,
you
like
know,
literally, yeah. Do
you
you do
know.
you do you also do like do you have any like younger crowds coming or anything like that to learn?
Um, well, I have one girl that I'm trying to teach how to use. Um, she knows how to use a computer, which is good, and she knows how to use. Well, she's familiar with Microsoft Word, so
Mm,
I'm trying to get her to meet with me, and teach her how to use Excel, because Excel is a big thing.
yeah,
And
yeah.
once you start with Excel, especially if you're not working with something else, once you start with Excel, you're like, okay, now I know I can do something with it. What else
Mm,
can I do with it? Now you can go on Google and search and see what else you can do with it and learn more.
mm,
Um, but she's kind of busy with a crowd of kids, and I can understand that.
yeah.
But I'm trying to say, you know what? Just yeah, we don't have to meet. I have an instructional. I can send her the instructional. You don't need any particular program because you don't have to use Word, Excel, or Microsoft Office product, or what's the other one out there? There's this Office Libre. You can use the Chrome. Chrome has a spreadsheet, and basically that's what it is. You're learning spreadsheet. So once you get familiar with the spreadsheet, then you can carry it over because it's the same thing. It's just different areas you got to find stuff. So once you know how to use it, then you can just build from there. And if you know how to use the spreadsheet, period, and you go to an interview and they say, well, you know how to use Excel? I'm familiar with Excel. Yes, I've done this, this, and this, and this. Now, it may not be the exact same because they'll have to teach you anyway
Mm,
what their process is. But once you're familiar with it, they don't have to teach you what it is, how to get into it, and just starting from scratch. It's okay. This is what we do here, and you don't draw a blank. You start from somewhere. So that's
right.
what I'm trying to get her to do. And the opportunities are limitless once you can get into computers. Um, as far as the what do you call that? The end user part. Um, it's like secretarial. I regretted the fact that when I was looking for work, when I was younger, the kids were younger, I saw all these jobs about um, Girl Guy Friday or secretarial part time. You you pretty much have your own hours. You can come in the morning to the afternoon or late morning to early afternoon. They just need somebody there to get the work done. And if you can do the job and you can show them you can do the job, they can give you the work. You can take the 4 hours, get the work done, and then leave and take care of whatever business you got to take care of, pick up the kids or what have you.
Mm.
And then if they want you to come back, you can come back. If you can't come back, you can come in the next day. But that's how I found I was a blessing actually. I was looking for a job 2 days a week as an IT person.
Mm.
Didn't think I would find it. I found it. It was Piscataway School District.
Mm.
I didn't want to work with the school district because it's I thought it was more like part time, seasonal. Well, in the IT department, there's no such thing as seasonal. It's
No.
like being a janitor. There's no such thing as seasonal.
Yeah.
That's the season that you bust your hump in the sweat to get things done
Yeah. Yeah.
while the kids are not there. So I learned that. But anyway, I was looking for it. First year, I missed it. They already hired somebody. I was too busy thinking about, I want to take it. And then the second time it came around was 2 years later. The second time it came around, they called it a substitute technician.
Mm.
So as a substitute technician, you come in either 2 days a week or 3 days a week, however they schedule you. That was how it was done. And I quickly learned that it's not a seasonal job. It's a 12 months. Maybe you get a couple of weeks off or here and there or something like that, or a couple of days off here and there. Those are the days when everybody else is when the school is closed and the janitors are all they're not working, but you have one guy who's I will forget the boiler maker or something.
Mm.
One guy who does that, and he has to be there because that's an all year position. That those boiler systems have to be running accurate, or you can blow up a building or something. I hear, but so he had to be there. Other than that, there was a couple of weeks that we had that nobody was there, and we were able to go through. Of course, it really sucked in the summertime because it was hot,
Of course. Yeah.
hot as hell. Yeah, no air conditioners, no windows open. You had to really learn to pace yourself and breathe slowly and take your time. And I found even the IT director who was always rushing was not rushing anybody, just to get the job done. Whatever you get done today, we get done today. Tomorrow's another day. And
Exactly.
so I
Yeah.
know there's work out there.
Hmm. No, no, yeah, no. I was gonna say because I think one of my first jobs that I had that I worked in IT, um, I went to Chubb Institute and I just graduated, and like I think while I was actually there, I don't think it was, yeah, I think it was while I was still there because I was looking for work. I worked at Milltown Public Schools, and I worked at
Okay.
their elementary schools. So we were doing computer upgrades, we were doing like computer replacements, and it was during the summer. And yeah, it's exactly as I said. Like they don't have anything operational because it's like there's no kids here. We're not gonna waste the time and money on AC. So we're all slaving away, sweating really hard, trying to
Yeah.
pick up like 30-40 pounds of computers and move equipment. But yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah.
Even like when it felt like it was time off, like the school was about to start, and the teachers had to make sure all their stuff was working. And as much as it
Yeah.
was a grind, I did like working there a lot. And I was
Yeah.
hoping that after I graduated, that I can put an application in to continue being a technician there. But I don't think they're hiring. But like the director was like a very nice like woman, and she wrote me like a high letter of recommendation. So like I was able to use it and find another job afterward, and everything worked out. But I think we're like the unsung heroes. I think it's we work very very hard and like longer hours than people think, and I think there's
Yeah.
definitely a level of patience that you need, especially working with like people. So I always told myself, no matter what I do, just treat people the same, right? So
Yeah.
it could be
Yeah.
an intern, it could be the CEO, just like treat them as like you'd like to be treated. And like I'm not trying to question how much they know or don't know, but I generally, when I help anyone with anything, I start from like scratch. You know, I'm like,
Yeah,
all right, yeah,
yeah,
how do I do this? All right, well, this is this, this is that, and like sometimes they're offended, sometimes they're not. But I reassure them. I'm like, look, I don't know how much you know, so I'm just starting from
yeah,
this, and that's it. Um,
yeah, yeah,
but I think it's always ongoing, right? It's always something new to learn, right? So and like just like I said a little bit earlier, that um it's always changing, it's always advancing, or it's always getting like different, like, and that now we have like stuff like AI, and
oh yeah,
even in like the public domains that I work in, so like places that offer service desks, places that offer like help desk level 1, so if you call a phone number you reach a person, they're trying to like move that out because they're like AI should be smart enough to handle this. Like if somebody calls and says, hey, I can't log in, my password is not working, AI should be like, all right, well, we can generate new password. We just have to verify your information. Maybe they can
yeah,
see the phone number calling in and match it up with the person that and it's getting there. And in a way, it's good, but in another way, it's bad because then people like me, it's like, well, we don't really need people like me anymore. But some people still
yeah,
like having the human touch.
yeah,
People,
yeah,
people like having a person on the other end and hearing like an automation or hearing a message. So,
yeah,
like I
yeah.
said,
We'll still be out there. We'll still
yeah,
be out there for a little while longer.
yeah, no. So I mean, I just like yourself. So I mean, I don't do it as often, but there's a few people I work with that I used to work for, like at a job, and either they retired or they went to another position, but they have my contact information if they ever need support from like home. So then, like,
Yeah,
if they need help with a personal computer or something like that, I offer my trades there, and then I tell them, I'm like, yeah, if you know anybody else that needs help, just let them know. And I feel like for
yeah,
you, especially like your business is like that like, I mean, you're doing kind of everything solo, right? So not just running your business, but actually running the business. So doing
yeah,
the like
yeah,
the teachings, or like, selling your products and stuff like that. It's definitely it's tough, it really is. And I feel like you're doing a great job. And I mean, I love hearing the fact that you are improving, like you said, your business is going
mm,
up, you're trying these different trades, like you're doing more coursework, you might be making more videos so that you can send to people to make things a little bit easier. And I honestly think it's still just the beginning. It's been like 6 months since we last spoke with you, but from 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 6 months ago to now, like I see great improvement, and it's great.
mm,
I'm very happy for you.
yeah. And I get my kids involved. My younger two.
Yeah,
Well, Jeremy. Jeremy's learning the Mac world and the PC world. Well, he likes the Mac world. So okay,
uh,
fine.
there you
Yeah,
go.
he's looking forward to when he can afford. I said when I can afford to pay you more, then you can buy your own. You can get your own iPhone. But right now we're dealing with what I can afford. So
Yeah. No, of course, and
yeah,
like they'll come to learn because, like, as much as it's hard being a parent, right? It's
yeah,
definitely tough, especially when you're also running your own business and you're trying to also be a father at the same time. Which, happy, super happy belated Father's Day, but um, you
same to
know,
you. Yeah,
thank
thank
you.
you.
And we're doing what we can, but I think your kids will come to learn that you're a hardworking person and a father, and that you're doing the best you can for them as well. So I'm sure
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
great, and I'm sure they'll pick up from your good habits.
yeah,
But yeah, and definitely like come this summer, what I want to do, and I was telling Rose a little bit, was that I do want to visit more people, and I might like maybe bring like a camera or whatever, and just do like an in person, like let's do a catch up. Like I know I think I messaged you last week about this, and I was like, hey John, like, do you just want to be on? But it was like kind of rushed. We didn't really know exactly what we were doing per se, and then we had issues, right before the show right now. But I did
yeah,
like want to catch
yeah,
up, and like I said, overall you sound like you're doing great. But I do want to come by. We'll do a video, and maybe I can upload a video on a later episode, and just be like, here's John's shop, and even discuss like some ideas, to help expand business or help
yeah,
improve and stuff like that.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, I think I mean, I'm happy to hear from you again. And like I said, it's finally better weather, and things are going better in life in general for me now. So I definitely want to make some effort to kind of reach out to some people.
yeah.
Um, Rose, how's everything? Everything good over there?
Everything's good here.
Good. Awesome. Yeah, no, because like you dropped out, and I wasn't sure if my sound is working yet. It's been a nightmare for. I think I updated sound drivers and it broke everything in my streaming app. So like I checked all the settings, everything was good, and then all I had to do was literally the most standard IT thing. I turned the setting off and I turned it back on, and it fixed it. And I was like, this doesn't make sense. This should have just worked. But you know how it
Yeah,
goes. I know,
sometimes. Yeah,
I know
sometimes
you know.
it's the reboot.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's crazy. But
John, yes, I'm definitely excited for.
oh no, did she
Uh
freeze?
oh.
Oh no, she's back. Wait, did she freeze?
I think she froze. You froze.
Man, this is just a nightmare for everybody, everybody today. All right, I'm just gonna steadily kick her out and see if she reconnects. Okay, hopefully she does.
Yeah.
Um, So yeah, one of the things that I wanted to mention as well, but like I figure it'd be a better probably conversation like in person. But have you considered doing like online teachings, like doing like I mean I know you probably work like full time, so the hours are kind of tough, but maybe doing like
Yeah.
separate. If somebody's interested in learning, you can do like a Zoom call and like teach them that way or anything like that.
Well, yeah, that's what I was trying to do with my friend who's busy with the kids. Said, you know what? We just need 15 minutes. Put the kids to bed, and then we can connect. I can talk to you or talk you through it. I'll send you a link or send you something, and just try it out. Because you go to Google Drive. You go to, I think it's called Sheets in Google Drives. I forget what it
Yeah,
is,
sheets.
but I
Yeah.
think it's Sheets.
Hmm.
And then you go to Sheets, and then you put start simple with your kids' names. You put your kids' names, first name, last name, middle name, somewhere around there, the day they were born, the month they were born, the year they were born, and out of that you can figure out their age. And then you can put your sisters in there, and you can add that. Then you can separate it by, you can sort it in different ways. Sort it by the year, sort it by the month, sort it by the, there's a lot you can learn with just that little piece of information of what you can do with Excel,
Hmm.
and then you can move on from there. That's just getting the groundwork on it.
I mean, I definitely think the hard part, especially for people, is just like finding that time, right? But it's nice to know that
Yeah,
even you'd give like, hey, like even if you can't, full fledged half hour, you can't full fledged like an hour. We'll start small, 10, 15 minutes. We'll do some small stuff, and
yeah,
then I'm sure
yeah,
you have some stuff figured out where it's like you can give them some exercise to try, like, hey, try to do this yourself, see how that works, and things like that.
yeah.
Like, because I know plenty of people who like so I used to work for an engineering company and one of the jobs that one of the people had to do a lot was like in Excel and do like spreadsheets and stuff like that. And she's like, oh, I wish I knew how to do this and I wish I knew how to do that. And I'm like, it's crazy because there's so many things that you can do to try to like learn. So outside of trying to do
Yeah.
like
Hey, Rose.
self-sufficient learning. Yeah,
I
welcome back.
believe I'm back. So what
Yeah.
happened is I set up beautifully outside. I have this nice view, and boom, the temperature is too high,
Oh, yeah,
Oh, so
yeah,
the phone's
and
overheating.
it's just like, yeah, it was about to say something nice and boom, right?
uh
yeah.
I want to say, John, thank you so much for coming back for our show again. It still exists, we're still here. And I want to say we have a beautiful 94 views on the first episode that we have with you. It's a
Mm-hmm.
very essential to us. It's we called it Humble Beginnings, and it's still there. And we really appreciate that. It was like our beginning start. It was so beautiful. We do have one of our episodes made it to 127 views, and we do
Oh,
have a
that's
beautiful
nice.
episode with Sanjay's wife Christine that made it over 70 views. I'm really proud about that. We hear, we motivate, we learn, we teach, and we we're so excited for you that you actually did what you said you're going to do,
mm.
and
Thank
we're
you.
very proud of you for what you're doing. It's definitely very excited to see you again and to
Yeah,
see your
you too. You
progress
guys. Yeah.
and what do you do. It's just so amazing.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, no, like she said, I mean, you're definitely you're our first guest that we ever had, you know, and even then, like we were, it was just like Rose said, it was humble beginnings, and not just like just for like yourself and your business, but for ourselves and our podcast, you know. Like I remember, I think we
Yeah,
tried to shoot the first episode, and we had to actually reshoot the episode because like the audio didn't properly go through or something like that. So we're
yeah,
just like, we messed up, and even it's funny because like I think in a sense it's a beautiful thing because we basically had similar issues with this episode, you know, like we started this
yeah,
episode and
We
everything was
didn't
broken
hide for a
again.
while. We were
So you know, if
fine.
you
yeah,
think about it, it's like its own little blessing in disguise. It's like, you know what, just repeat itself, you know. But I
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
have some ideas that I do want to run by you, and you know, I'll connect with you on Facebook again, and um you know, like I said, I'm happy to have you on our episode today. It was nice to like catch up with you here, and I think I'm gonna catch
Yeah.
you soon. I'll definitely hit you up on Facebook because I have some ideas for not just yourself or even promoting your business, but helping Motivation Station
Yeah,
too. And we'll do
yeah, yeah,
um some video work. You know, we'll see if we can expand
yeah,
business for everybody at this point.
And also,
yeah,
we
yeah.
do
I'm looking.
work on merch. So,
Oh yeah, yeah. We'll throw
Yeah,
some merch your way. That yeah, listen,
yeah.
when you have customers come by, you can be like, hey, you know, I was on a podcast, or I know a podcast of motivation. We'll give you some merch that you can just give out at this point, and you know, like we're all here to build together. But more importantly, I want to see your growth. I want to see your success, and honestly, you're on the right path, brother. You know. Oh no, did we lose? I think we lost Sean. Man, let me tell you, it's just nothing but but issues on this one. Hold on, let me see if he comes back.
It's beautiful. It's a
Happy,
roller coaster.
happy, happy accidents. Oh yeah, he dropped. I'll see if he comes back.
Happy Juneteenth, I was going to say, but okay.
Yeah, happy Juneteenth too. Yeah, absolutely. Um, let's see. Hold on. Let me see. I'm gonna keep an eye on
We
him
do
coming back.
celebrate every holiday. We do not. Me personally, I don't discriminate anything.
Nah, everyone is worthy of their time and you know their work that they put in. Of course, absolutely. Let's see. I'm giving him like a few seconds to see if he comes back. He might not. It's fine, but I'm watching it. But anyway, so first things first. I want to apologize for everything that was broken. Right. So if our viewers watching, I think you even heard double audio. So when John was talking, you probably heard John talk twice. If you heard me talking, I
It
don't know
was
if
fine.
mine. I don't know if mine went through twice, but I realized that the mixer started adding extra audio for no reason. And I was like, I never even put this in here. So
It's
I'm
making
actually
you a
hoping right now,
DJ.
like right now the audio is working, right? So you hear me, I hear you, it hears the music, and I'm hoping all of this is actually working on the stream. But like I can't tell because I don't have the stream open. I mean, I have a stream open, but it doesn't. I have it muted
Yeah.
because I don't want to. I don't want to hear it. Actually, can I hear it? Yeah, because if I play it, hold on. Let me see. Unmute. Okay, yeah, so it's playing. Okay, insane. I can't believe it's been like this. So I'll change the title. Because we last second we thought John wasn't making it, so we were gonna talk about controlling emotions, but we can replace next week's end of the month. Well, it'll be part of the end
It's
of the
fine.
month.
I'm still gonna be.
Yeah, no, it'll
Yeah,
be
I'm
part
still
of the
gonna
end
be
of the month.
around. But
Oh,
yes, John back.
John's back. All right, let's let him.
yeah, yeah.
John's
Now you're good.
back.
I'm telling you, this is what we call happy accidents. I might have to just rename this title of this
Happy
episode
accident.
happy accidents.
Yes, I love that. Happy accident.
Happy
But
accident. Yeah, yeah,
like we're saying, so super happy to hear from you. Super happy to see that your business is going. And like I said, I think you're on the right path to success. And I've said this to other people that have been on our podcast and people trying to make it in their goals too, that I want to be a little bit more involved. I want to meet up with you guys more. If there's anything I can do to help boost anything, you know, either like getting your name out there, getting more business for you, anything like that, like
yeah,
Breakthrough
yeah,
moments.
we want to do that. We want to do that.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm you're, besides being the first person that you know was on our motivation station podcast, you're going to be the first person I'm going to come visit and see what we can figure out. But like I said, I think I'm going to bring like
Okay.
one of my GoPros, set up some audio. I have some lavaliers, stuff like that, and we'll just set up
Yeah,
like a
Awesome.
little mini in-person, you know, episode so we can get a little bit more personable, you know. And I have some ideas, and I'll run it by you, give you a call when we can figure some stuff out.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, but I'll let you. I know you're working, so I'll let you get back to it. But once again, we appreciate you coming back on. It's always fantastic to see you, sir. And
Oh,
we'll we'll
yes.
Yes.
we'll be in touch, and we'll talk soon. All right.
All
And
right, talk to you soon.
if you wanna watch our episodes, we live every Saturday, 11 a.m.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just throw,
yeah,
while you're working, just throw it on. Like, here, we'll get you like a TV screen. Just throw it on, and then when customers come in, they're like, "What's that?" Well, let me tell you about them. There you
yeah,
go.
yeah,
No, but we'll figure things out. But anyway, John,
yeah.
again, thank you for coming, and we'll talk to you soon again. To be honest.
Yeah,
Okay, talk to
our
you
hearts
soon.
goes to you.
Love you guys too.
I
All
love you
right.
guys. Yeah, take care,
Yes.
man.
Yeah.
All
All
right,
right, take care.
all right,
All right,
bye.
Bye
bye
bye,
bye.
John. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, so um. It was good. Like it just like I'm too jumbled from everything that was happening today, and I just can't believe that like updating one thing broke everything on my stream thing. But it's fine. It is what it is. Um. Anyway, so the other thing I wanted
Reboot.
to, yeah,
Yeah.
right. I wanted to talk about.
Welcome to Motivation Station. How are you today, Rose?
Yeah. Sorry, that was supposed to be
I did not hear that. And
no.
when I did not hear that, I was like, are we I actually live or not? And I
So
was like,
no, what happened
and
at
then
the
I
at,
opened on the phone. I'm like, we
at
are
the
live.
very
Okay.
beginning, for whatever
Yeah.
reason, you fell off and John was on. So I was like, that's not
Yeah.
Rose. What the heck? So I brought John in, and then you came back on, and I was like, oh crap. So I brought you in. So then John started talking. So I was like, all right, let's just see how John's doing. But we could just do it like that. If we have a
Yeah.
guest, we'll just start
Yeah.
with them, and then we'll
It was
catch up.
just, yeah, it was just like,
Oh man.
improvisation. And I like it. As we call it, happy accident.
Yeah, I think that's just what it is. But
We
anyway,
need a
Rose.
glimpse of it, glimpse of the happy accidents as a short.
Anyway, how are
Yeah.
you? How are you doing? How's
Oh my
everything?
goodness. So, it's just summertime, and I was going to show I did a beautiful setup outside with the nice flowers that were picked up from the field. One girl made that for me. It is so gorgeous. I left it outside. So it was just this whole beautiful setup, and the sun said, no, you can't have it. You can have the beautiful view and everything. I said, okay, I go inside then. And definitely, what we spoke about last week, we spoke about, personally, I spoke about doing everything with love and out of love. Not even with love, it's out of love. So
Mm,
I did started practicing that for a last maybe 6 8 months, and I was really actually on it every single day this week. So that kept me really cool, calm, and collective, especially at work. Everything is still changing. Everything's not stable yet. But I've noticed that me being a positive, right, as a being a motivational person, and putting excellence before than just being grouchy and uh, being tricked by attacks or anything else.
mm,
I saw a huge difference when people were coming and they're like, "Hey, Rose!" They actually knew my name. They actually started noticing me. They started coming back. So I started growing that a little bit of a communication and getting to know the customer, which is very important in any service. That's what John is doing, right? Like in every service, it's important knowing your client, knowing their name, knowing their story, knowing what they like. It expands your quality of your business. It expands the quality of everything that you do. And even yesterday, like people came, I was like, "Hello, Mrs. and Mrs. Leroy," and they were shocked, like, "Oh, you know that?" I said, "I know not only your name, I know where you're from, what you do, your kids." And they're like, well, and they were shocked, like, how do you remember everything? The two things, if you want to be an excellent server or in the service business, always remember, my thing, I always remember the name and how much they tip, right? Because you want to know your high ends. You
mm.
want to know everyone. But You want to know. You just want to know. You want to build that.
I agree. Yeah.
And I worked by myself on Wednesday, which was crazy because usually it's two of us and it's impossible to handle everything by yourself. And I was a trooper. We were supposed to have only 50 covers. We had 163. It's triple,
Mm-hmm.
right? And for me to be able to handle myself with quality, with excellence, everything is still clean. It was amazing. It was amazing. And then, but the thing is, I was running around and I wasn't giving my excellent service. I was just running around. And on Thursday, I said, you know what? I'm going to switch my approach. Sometimes we just got to reflect and switch our approach. I said, no, today I'm going to focus on just spending time with each person and providing that excellence one on one.
Mm-hmm.
And that made a huge difference in numbers, huge difference in people. Other person came yesterday. He's like, hey, you remember me? And I said, yes, Mr. Coach. And it was just a smile on his face. He's like, I came back just for you. And this is my wife. That certain things like this, when people say, I came back for you, I love it. And that's why we have motivation station. We have repetitive listeners, which I do love you guys. We love you. The the repetitive people are coming back because of this, the
Yeah.
excellence that we provide, the things that we care about you, that repetitively speaking about Megan, Morgan, Frank, Sarah, Teresa, everyone who was here, even a beautiful 127 views on Don't Give Up, Don't Give In, right? Judy. It's amazing because why? Because we care. And when you care, people actually see that. It's not about how you, what do you know? It's about how much you care, right? And the person will always come back to you. And to be able to do that, you need to control your emotions. You
Mm.
need to do things out of love. I can't always trigger myself by attacks of other people's because I say this is not my story.
Mm.
My story is like this. I'm calm, I'm balanced, I'm smiling. I want to provide light, not darkness. I want to give light. And that's why I need to be light.
Mm.
To be able to be light, you need to know yourself. I know myself. And whatever they're doing, it's not my story. And
Mm.
whatever is not serving my purpose is going to go away. And it's actually happening. Everyone who's been sort of, let's put this word, toxic in this environment, everyone is moving, getting quit or fired or transferred. And I was like, it's going to be all rainbows. I saw three rainbows already
Mhm.
when I was going to quit all those three times. And the guy said, no, stay there. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful. We had a soft, beautiful opening yesterday for a patio. We can eat and sit at the patio now. So you definitely need to come up and see the patio view. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, no, I'm hoping maybe in like August or something I'll come by for like a weekend or something like that. But
Yeah,
no,
my
I agree.
birthday.
I agree with you like cuz like it, the biggest thing that people will remember is how you made them feel, right? And I think, like for me, as much as like I want to celebrate my highs and celebrate like my lows and all that, right? Like I just celebrate everything, you know celebrate the wins, the losses, right? Of course you want to talk about the wins because that helps talk about more wins, but for me it's always like you just talk about everything. You see where you fell and you're like, this is where I fell, but this is how I got up. And then when you're up high, you're like, this is how I was up there and this is how I got there, you know and I think for me, the people who just like it's just like you said, how you make you feel. So I know for you, you work in a service environment, so it's like the service you provide, like, especially like you being personable, you being able to remember names, people's faces, stuff like that, right? You bring people back, and like you want that, of course, right? Because not only does it make you feel good, but it's also good for your business, right? It's good for the company you work for. It's good for you to bring people back in, and then you pocket money as well, right? For me, it's more or less like the same thing, except for me, it's like it doesn't matter what I get in return as long as I'm able to give all that I can give. And I think controlling emotions is absolutely important. And I just went on my trip and I came back, and I'm not going to get into details about it, but like I had a bad fallout, and I was letting my emotions get to me, and it was crazy on how much the people that like I kind of not pushed aside, I set them aside to make time for someone to provide, someone a little bit more company because they were going through a tough time, and I
Yeah.
sacrificed a lot of myself. I sacrificed my time with my close friends. And when everything fell apart and I came back, like they didn't even hesitate. They were there for me in a heartbeat. Every single day, every single morning, every single night, they were just catching up with me. They're like, hey, you want to talk? You want to play some video games? What do you want to do? Like, I don't want to leave you alone. And ever since I've been back, I have not been alone for a second. The second I start like getting emotional or getting stuck in a bad mental state, I'll message someone, and they'll just hit me back up and be like, hey, what's going on? You want to call? What's going on? You want to meet up? Let's go out for dinner. Let's do something. And I, in a way, felt rude because it's like I kind of pushed you aside. Like I pushed you aside, and in my moments of being vulnerable, like you came back immediately. Like you didn't come back to my face and say, hey, like, remember the time you pushed me aside? Remember, I was here for you. None of that, nothing like that. They just said, hey man, sometimes life is tough. You just get up, you just keep moving, enjoy yourself, and enjoy your time wherever you go. And like, it's nice to have that feeling. And it's funny because what it really is, Rose, is a reflection of myself. Like I always gave myself to people, but I never allowed people to be there for me because I was like, nah, I'm good, I don't ever need people. Like, I'm good, I just want to be there for you. And they felt the same way. They're like, you're always here for us, like you don't need to be, but you always are, so we're doing the same for you. And that's when you come to learn that like those are the people who actually truly care. When you say you're bummed out, the response isn't like, all right, well, go be bummed out somewhere else. It's like, all right, well, what can we do to unbum you out? What can we do to make you
Yeah,
happy?
yeah, that
And
is
that's
amazing.
that's
Yeah.
everything. That's everything I used to do. Like, if you're bummed out, I'm not gonna be like, all right, well, when you feel better, come back to me and we'll hang out. I never said that. I never said that to anybody. And like, to them, it's the same story. It's like, you never allowed us to be bummed out. When we said that we were bummed out, you stayed. You stayed longer than you had to. You sacrificed more time than you should have. You took away time that like I know you needed for yourself to give to me. So like the least we can do is the same for you. And I
Hmm.
was just like, that's crazy. Like, of course I cried after hearing that, but like that's that's crazy. But I like it took me a while. But when my whole demeanor, like you, when my whole demeanor changed, because like when I came back, I went back to work. I came back on a weekend, and then like Monday I went to work, and I was like, I gotta focus on work. Because like I was like, I need to make money. Like I took a week off, and it was paid unpaid time off. So I was like, I need to catch up on this. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday I'm working, I'm doing my thing, and like I'm just not happy. I'm just kind of like in my own emotions. And I noticed it's affecting me because like around me, no one really like normally people talk to me. They'll like, how's this, how's that, but no one wants to bother me. And then like after I talked to my few friends that like they stayed on, like Morgan. I think I
Yeah.
mentioned this last time. Morgan was actually on the phone with me for hours, and she all we did was reminisce on our old times that we played games together and all the dumb stuff that we did. And she's like, see, she's like, this is the Sunjay I remember. This is the happier Sunjay that I remember. And I was like, damn, Morgan, damn. So like I went back like the end of the week a little bit stronger, a little bit more positive, and it was a night and day difference. People saying good morning to me. There was like another team member from like a whole different team that was like, hey, you want to go get coffee? And I was like, This has never ever happened to me. No one has ever said, hey, let's go get coffee. So I was like, there's something different here. So I went to go get coffee,
Yeah.
call, chat up, and like, they're just asking me like, how do you like it here? How do you like the job? Like, is there anything else you want to try? Is there anything else you want to do? And I was like, yeah, I do. And like, it's nice to be able to kind of just let off on that. But like, I know sometimes, and speaking from straight experience, it's tough to control your emotions, right? But it is crazy how much of a difference it makes when you are able to do it. And I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying that you can just, oh yeah, let me just control my emotions now. But like, I think,
Hmm.
for yourself, you just had a different mindset. For me, my mindset was shot, so I had people bring in my mindset back, like, hey, no, 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 remember who you are, remember who you are. Just because,
Yeah.
like, there's one person, or few people who might have think think you're a villain, think you're the bad guy in the story, think that you're not who you are, right? There's 10 billion times more people who think you are who you are, you know, correct about who you are. And like, they're like, if you need to see it, go see your friends. Go see the people you play games with. Go talk to them. Go talk to this and that. And I started texting. I texted Dove. I haven't talked to Dove in forever, right? I
With your
text,
friend.
yeah, I texted Dove and I was like, dude, I know I haven't talked to you in forever, but I know you've been
But
making some.
you
I was like, you're making
bombarded
some.
too.
Yeah, I know. And I was like, I know you're making some changes in your life and stuff like that. And he's like, yeah, man, just come through. It wasn't like, hey, man, like, you're not my friend anymore. You don't talk to me. It was, hey, man, yeah, just come through. Just text me on the day so I can tell you where I'm at. And I was like, thanks, man. I'm sorry. And I think the best part about everybody is they got mad when I said I'm sorry. Cause I am. I'm genuinely sorry for not being there for people and stuff like that. And they're like, nah, man, like, you're doing your thing and
You
you're
should
doing your
not be
best.
sorry. Yeah.
Exactly. They're like, you shouldn't be sorry. And
Yeah.
I was like, fair enough. But like, if you feel that way inside, that's just the way you are. If I feel sorry, I'm gonna say I'm sorry.
Yeah. Don't feel guilty because you're not always there because we cannot be always there. But you know what it is? What I say, like, because I'm the type of person, I am not a person who calls and texts every single day to the same people. Like, I just don't do that because that's giving away a lot of energy. When I was doing that before, I stopped. I said, whoa, that's taking away all of my energy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when one of my friends were just dumping on me for 2 hours, 3 times a week, I just couldn't function anymore after that. I was like, whoa, needs to stop. And I stopped it. And I said, you know what? I'm always there when it really needs to be. Like I'm good with balancing my time with each person. I know your birthday. I don't know your birthday, but
Yeah, yeah, I know
I
it.
know
Yeah,
my. We didn't get there yet, but
yeah.
I know what it is I invested enough time to get to know the person, to know their likes, their wants, their needs, their birthdays, their occasions, you know, if they have family, when they have an anniversary or any like, like little things, that person's gonna be like, whoa, she just sent me a text message saying happy birthday to my daughter or whatever. That's, certain things like that. I invested enough time to get to know that, so that's balancing my time to say, hey, I should have message on this special day, or send you a card,
Mhm,
or a note, or a letter, or a gift, you know, just to say, hey, I'm still thinking about you.
mhm,
Of course, I say, if you ever need anything, you can call me.
mhm.
But people value that, and people call me only really like it's like they need like some kind of like a rational thing, that because they're going through
No,
emotions,
it's fun.
and they
Yeah.
value that because when they're there every single day and then they don't value that anymore. They're like, oh, you have to be on my phone.
I, I,
Excuse me, lad.
I,
Excuse me. That's just
yeah. No, I
the
think
way
you're gonna.
I do things.
I think you're gonna like
And
this
people,
quote. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Before I forget, I think you're gonna like this quote. I'll let you
yeah,
continue, right? But I read this quote and it's exactly what you said, right? It's like sometimes people come to, instead of falling in love with your heart, they fall in love with your hand. So they fall in love with what you give, not for who you are per se. And
Yeah,
that quote hit me so hard because it's like, you know what? Like it's like you want to be good in nature. You want to do your good stuff, right?
yes.
And they fall in love with what you can do for them, but not for who you are.
That's why got it,
Yeah.
balance it. Even
Yeah.
when I came to Jersey, everything was scheduled, and then some people called me on Tuesday, like, "Oh, please, you're already leaving. We need to meet." I said, "You had your time slot."
Mm-hmm.
So next time when I come, they know exactly what to do
Mm-hmm.
to make that time for me because I wasn't I wasn't able to do it, but even if I was able to do it, I would still not do it because people see that and
Yeah.
people don't appreciate that. I want people to value my time because I value my time and
Mm-hmm.
I value your time. You invest your time in me. I want to value that.
Mm-hmm.
We invest time in this. I want to value that. And the person said, "Oh, but make sure next time when you come, I'm the first you're going to see."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I could do that. But you need to make sure you have that time slot because you know exactly what we have when we meet. It's a
Mm-hmm.
one on one quality talking about ideas conversations. It's not just, "Oh, what are you doing? Let's go shopping or let's go with it." No,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like strictly like, "Hey,
Like.
what needs to be improved in your life?
Yeah.
And let's see what can we collaborate with, what can we make money with, what can we get any ideas, not only about the money, but let's like bring on the ideas to the world, like
Mm-hmm.
what are we doing?"
Yeah.
Of course there's not everybody like that. Not everybody want to create and throw ideas. Some people just want to have a drink and catch out, which is fine too. Okay, let me take you to the nice spot and I will show them the nice, like there's a spot called Mulberry Street, in Avenel. It's a beautiful restaurant from 1964, has history and stuff like that. Let me bring you to the history. Let me show
Mm-hmm.
you how it's really quality done.
Mm-hmm.
I want to share you a piece of me, that excellence, the quality, the great time. Like, not just going to some club and where it's all drunks and fights. And it's great too, but it's not me anymore. Like, I elevated from that moment and
Yeah.
I want to elevate others. Whatever I'm doing in life and whatever I'm improving on, if the person I see need it and they're willing to want it, to that elevation, let me show you how it's done. You know, that's a true leader right there when you show people how it's done. You're not telling them what to do.
Yeah.
But
No,
at the
I
same
agree.
time, you rationally balance everything, but it's not only about giving. I used to be like that. Give, 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 give. It's okay to take. It's okay. It's
Mm-hmm.
okay to take. So there's a balance, give and take.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, value your time. Your time is the most
Precious thing.
treasurable,
Yeah.
precious thing that you have. So every second that you're giving, it's not going to come back anymore. And I told myself a while back, I said, I wanted every second to be fulfilled with greatness. I wanted every second that I give be valuable. I wanted everything that come out of my mouth be valuable,
Mm-hmm.
changing difference, making difference in people's lives, changing it valuable. Every second, I want to feel it with so much vibrancy, with light. There is no space for me to even think about it. Oh, I'm bombarded. Yes, I get bombarded. But and then, boom, that shift, as you said, right? Mindset shift. All about constantly shift, 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 shift,
Yeah.
shift.
Mm. I think the important part, because like it's funny. So despite whatever happened, right? Despite the things that even went south, right? I asked myself the biggest question, and it was, do I regret any of it? And the answer was no. You know, so I agree with you that, like, you definitely want to get the most out of your value. You want to get the most out of your time, especially, right? I do believe there is a level of balance between giving and taking, right? I don't think there's anything wrong with giving more than taking, right? But only in the sense that, like, if you in your own heart are
Yes.
content with, like, listen, I know I'm giving this and I know I'm not going to get it back. But that's fine,
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
Well, like I think the part that I fell apart was that it made me question my giving, you know? And that was just me attacking myself because like I said, a few people thought like differently of me. But like all my friends did, they didn't rebuild the value in me. You know, all my friends did, they didn't tell me like, you know, you're starting at bottom and you're getting back up here. They just said you strayed off the path. We're just putting you back on. Because
Yes.
the path you're on is righteous, the path that you're on is good, and you've always been kind. Just because one person thinks otherwise doesn't make it different, you know.
Yeah, it's not your
and
story.
despite the fact that, you know, you did invest a lot of time and stuff like that, they're like, you know what, it is what it is, right? And when I look back and I was like, all the time I put into uh like the effort for like people, I the only part that really bothered me was the fact that it's like you know, say you had a job, right? You can do a million good things, a million good things. You do the one bad thing, that's what they nail you on, right? It's the same thing with friendship. Like you can do a million good things, but the one bad thing that you did, and they nail you on it,
Yes.
it doesn't define who you are. And the problem for me was I let it define who I was, you know. But like, do I regret any of it? No. Do I like, you know, I like I think it was like in my 20s, maybe like mid 20s going to 30s. I hit that point where it's like, you know, like live without regret and like, you know, don't even hold grudges. If things don't work out between you and someone else, listen, there's 8 billion people in the world. It's
Let it
fine.
be.
Let it
Yeah.
be.
Let
Let
it
it
be.
be. It doesn't work out, whatever, you know? And for the most part, I got through it. But then, like, you know, there's times where I grew close to someone and it burned me, right? And then, like, it burned me because of the way that I am in their head, right? But in all honesty, it doesn't matter what I am in their head. Because if they want to think that I'm a bad person, if they want to think that I'm not a worthy person, right? Let them. It's fine. What does that have to do with me? Nothing. You know? So controlling your emotions again, like you can't control anything outside of yourself. So, you know, like if I, not to use that as a blunt example, but it's like, you know, you walk by like a homeless person, they ask for $1 and you don't give them $1. You know, maybe you didn't have money, maybe you really didn't have $1, or maybe you know you didn't want to give them $1. But then you know that like builds for them a temporary image of you, like, oh, this guy didn't give me $1. But it's like, you know what, like you don't know my story either. But you can't let it, like, you know, I mean, I try to help people as I can, but it's a bad example to use. But you know what I mean? It's just like people will have ideas and images of you, and like you can't let that actually deflect who you really are, right?
I have this, yes, I love what you're saying, and I have this beautiful quote that's sitting on my beautiful Instagram. It says, "You are a different person inside the mind of everyone you meet,
Yeah,
based on their perceptions. Be yourself and don't worry about what others think of you."
yeah,
Boom, Peter Cox. Um, I love what you're saying, and it's great. And also, as I said, like in the last episode, doing everything out of love, it recycles energy back automatically.
mm,
Like without like getting those getting attacked by our thoughts, our doubts, and getting attacked by people's perceptions, right? It's making you feel great. You're just
mm,
being yourself. And when you're feeling yourself and you're not getting triggered by this, the word trigger is coming out, if you're getting triggered by this, all that, what's around you, you just, you just keep it going, and keep it bringing, bringing, and bringing. And people always wonder, like, oh, you're so positive, you're so. Da-da-da." No, I'm not. What I just stopped doing, I stopped paying attention or being what the things that are around me doesn't serve me. I don't let those what's not serving me to even touch me because I know me, I know what I can bring, and I just wanted to keep on going,
yeah,
cycling energy of love, of light, of beautifulness. Because I created an image, well, maybe 10 years ago, I created an image, the person I want to be, and that means I have to wear the person I want to be now to be able to be that person. Because eventually, it's gonna get me. I'm gonna be that person.
yeah,
It is a lot of a discipline, habits, and things that that person has. But little by little, can you wear yourself? Can you be right now? It's point A, and where you want to be and how you want to be, it's point B. Can you wear your point B today and be like, here, my mind is great, my energy is great, I feel good, I dress well, right? Remember, you said you want to wear a nice bag, going back to wearing a nice suit, having that sharp look and feel good, and it's just, it's you you're gonna feel, you're already feeling the difference. You see your coworker say, let's go for a coffee. People
Mm-hmm.
gonna start, people do get attracted to people that are vibrant,
Mm-hmm.
but it's your choice who you want to be. What's your point B? Like, my point B, when I created that, I said that's who I want to be. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to be that girl that always complains and cries and negative and telling all these excuses. We can complain and make excuses for everything all day long, but what did that give us? Nothing.
Yeah. I mean,
And
there's
I'm
time.
super happy that you have people that say, hey, listen, we're
Yeah.
here for you, not for what you're going through. We're here for you. Maybe you turn left. Hey, you gotta go straight.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they're like the GPS of my life at that point. Yeah, no, I agree. I
Yes.
mean, it's sometimes it is important to dump, and I think that's where I definitely fail, right? And I dumped out, like I let everything out to like friends, and they were just like, it's fine to do that, and I think that's also like just a growing pain for I want to say for men, like we normally don't have people to dump out to, and we normally keep things to ourselves, and there was a
Yes,
saying
we
that I
do
was
live
following
in a
for there was a saying
lonely
I was following for
pandemic.
a while because I was like, like when people like look at me, they're like, why are you sad? And I tell them, I'm like, I'm actually sad all the time, but today I'm just too tired to show that I'm not, you know and when I said that to people, they're just like, it's okay to be sad, it's okay to fall down, and there's a lot of times that I did have to just kind of keep to myself and just reflect and remember, that I'm human too, that I'm gonna fall, that I'm not always gonna be on that high, that I'm not always gonna be on my feet, and it's okay. you know the more important thing, more than anything, is just making sure that I get back up. you know and I think I said this before, that it's great to have support. It is, because like people will want to push you back up, but the biggest thing is you have to be willing to get back up. You have to be the person, because it's your feet. At the end of the day, it's your feet that you're standing on. So as much as people are picking you up, they're holding your legs, they're holding your thighs, they're holding your abs, they're holding your shoulders up, they're holding you up, right? If your own feet don't want to stand, then it's going to you're gonna fall, right? But fortunately, I have some stubborn ass people in my life that are as stubborn as I am, that they're like they held me up, I fell, they're like, nah, 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 we're doing this again, we're doing this again. And they kept doing it until, okay, you're standing now, let's walk, let's take a step forward
Yes.
you know
Also, a good question to ask, why? What's making you sad and what is sad? What is sad? Why is it sad? Why is it still there? Why is it, it cannot be unstocked? So it's good. What I do is make a list of things that what's not serving and what's making me sad. And by eliminating that,
yeah, no, so
changing that, you know?
I had a full-fledged conversation with myself out loud, right? So sometimes you have that inner voice in your head and you listen to it. I let that inner voice talk out loud, and I think I read a quote that helped me reach that, and it was the quote was beautiful, but it said, "It's you versus you, and one of you has to die." And I was like,
Okay.
"Yeah, yeah." And that's when it hit me, and I was like, "The one that's falling apart right now, the one that's not doing me well, has to be the one to go." And my tougher self, myself that was like, fight back, um, I let some anger fuel me, because I let some of the dark fuel me to get back up, because I've done it in the past, and it
Yeah.
has helped, but it reminded me, like, listen, you've like nothing but quotes left and right, and it said, remember, 2 years ago you had problems that you thought you couldn't get over. Look at you now. You don't even remember your problems from 2 years ago. This too will pass. You know, so it's everything just kind of catching up, that reminding me that, like, this too will pass. you
I
will be
love
fine.
quotes too. They
You know,
always work for me. Uh-huh.
the you versus you and one of you must die was the best quote I ever read in my life. You know, uh, so it was a good reminder, and it definitely helped me back get onto my feet. Um, but yeah, I think for me, for I guess like final words is just that, like it just it's good to remind yourself that it's okay to not be okay, you know. But I think the more righteous thing is always to make sure that, like, when you're not okay, like you said, ask yourself, why are you not okay, right?
There's
And
a book like that called. Hmm.
everyone has different ways of coping it, right? So you know, I agree with your idea. Write down what is not okay with you, and that's already solving half the problem. Because then when you write it down, you're like, all right, what can I do about this? What can I? And if it's like nothing, well then nothing. Move on. You know. If there is something, then do something. You know. It's like, you ever see the little flow chart that's like, do you have a problem? Yes. Can you do something about it? Yes. Okay, then don't worry about it. And then it's like, do you have a problem? Yes. Can you do something about it? No. Okay, then don't worry about it. Like, it literally just kept pointing at the same thing, because it's like, what are you
Don't
gonna
worry
do?
about
Yeah, it's like, don't worry about it.
it.
Like, there's nothing you can do. It's such a beautiful little chart. But
Um,
honestly, like, you know, if you're not okay, if you're not doing well, it's okay to be at that point, but just don't let it eat you. You know, don't let it get to you to the point that you think that's who you are now, because it's not, and it never will be. I think we all have the power to get up. We all have the power to stand tall, fight back, and sometimes you can do it yourself. Sometimes you can't, and you know, never afraid, never be afraid to ask for help, because you'll be surprised that, you know, there's people in your life that just care to a point that's just like, listen, I'll drop everything for you, just like I know you'll drop everything for me. So it's a good reminder.
yes, that's amazing. So I want to say I'm definitely proud of you for becoming best version of yourself every single day. I see you doing so much better every single day. The things that you do for yourself, for your family, it's just tremendous. You're always there for your friends, and you care, you're giving. It's something that we don't see often
Mm,
because we do live in a pandemic of a lonely world.
yeah,
There's in the end of the day, some people don't even have people to culture, and that is sad.
yeah,
So that's why I want people to be more giving in a way of meeting people and giving their time to be able to create that quality friendships that you can say, yeah, I do have that frank friend that I can call anytime, and just to talk, just to talk. Art of creating a friendship, it's an art.
it is.
I needed to learn that because in my teenage life I didn't have friends, and then in my 20s I was always trying to get friends, like, oh, I need friends, I need to, like, I was trying to hold, please can you be my friend, that's how I was. And now it's
Yeah,
like people want to be my friend because I don't want to hold on to people and chase people.
yeah,
Whatever is yours is yours. Whatever is not yours is gonna fall out, and let it go. Let it
yeah,
go, because it's some certain of the part of your life. It's when you're elevating, people are gonna be different. Circles gonna change, and it's
yep,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
So I'm really proud of you,
Thank you.
and we did have a beautiful finish of this episode,
Yes, yes, absolutely.
having with no troubles. So
No
we're very
troubles. I
excited. Yes,
it was happy accidents for sure. Like, the beginning was rough, but
yes,
even then it was, you know, like a good time. But
yes.
it was definitely a
That's,
much needed
that's a very
lesson.
cozy end up. I
Yes,
like the
absolutely.
cozy end ups.
And then next week will be our roundup, and you know, basically sum it up all together, and
Yes,
you know, go from
yes.
there. But
And
I had
today
a good
is
one.
summer solstice. I want
It
to
is.
say it's the, I believe, the longest day of the year.
Yes,
So
yeah, from
everyone
sun.
was
Yeah,
celebrating the
sunrise, sunset.
rituals, putting some fires and dancing around fires. Have fun. We do have a lot of fire warnings, so be really careful of how dry your area are. But definitely, let's bring the summer in. We're getting started. Everything is getting started, and restart. If you need to reboot, restart yourself, just do it.
Yeah. Like
Every
now,
day you
now
could
more
just
than ever. Yeah.
restart. Yes. And let your summer shine, be bright. Remember, every second is a very valuable and you won't bring it back. Vibrate, do best you can, and you know what? Be the best version of yourself
Every day.
and stay motivated with a
Absolutely.
motivation station.
I gotta like I think for me the biggest thing was like I know things fell apart for me for like maybe one or a few people, right? But then when I literally turned my head and I remembered everything I was doing for all the other people that were in my life and how much they were doing for me in return. And I was like, what am I doing? Like I literally, it was like a click. I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing?
Yes,
Why
yes,
am I doing
that's a
this?
good click. Yes,
So then it was good. If I felt a lot better about it. And besides Juneteenth as well, I would like to say like June is definitely about men's mental health awareness. So anybody out there, please like check on your guys. Check on your friends.
yes.
And
Call a friend
obviously,
to say you love them and how much you care about them.
absolutely, because you don't know how much difference that sometimes
It
makes.
makes.
So.
Yes.
But Rose, thank you for another fantastic episode of Motivated Station. I'm happy that John was able to come. Um, I want to do a
So
call, but
glad.
maybe not today. Maybe I'll hit you up so we can do a call later because I just want to catch up on a few
Yes,
things.
yes.
But honestly, I love the fact I love everything that we do, and I know things are just gonna progressively get better. I'm happy that work is going well for you. Work is going great for me as well. I mean, I think I told you before I had opportunities for other jobs. They
Yes.
all fell apart, but I'm like, you know what? I'm happy where I am. I'm still looking whatever, but like I'm at least happy at the job I'm at. So I'm still good. And then like I
At
said,
least you have a job, right?
yeah, exactly. And I went when I went to work, I had people talk to me. People say, "Let's go get coffee." All right, things are getting good again. Like things are. I'm fine with this. So
Things
I'm
are
just
always good, right? The
things are always
hourglass
good.
is
Oh yeah, what am
always
I
half
talking about? Things are
full.
never bad.
Yes.
What the hell am I talking about?
Yes, the glass is always half full,
Exactly. It's always half
So
full of that nice Jack and Coke. That's all I need. That's all I need. But anyway,
I see you.
uh, viewers, thank you for coming by. If you came by, I'm sorry about our technical issues. I did one driver update, and I swear to God, I'm never gonna do it again. But I appreciate
Always an update, yeah.
I appreciate everyone coming by. I appreciate Rose, of course. I appreciate you, and John for coming by. We'll do our monthly roundup for next episode, and I think during the week we'll talk about stuff we want to do for Motivation Station, and we'll make some announcements on our next episode, and we'll go
Yes,
from
stay
there. But
tuned.
stay tuned, and stay positive. If you guys need anything, we're here for you. But
Yes,
cheers! I don't have a
yes.
sign of
We
drink, but
are
I have
here,
my
motivationstation at
water.
gmail.com. And also, thank you for all your likes, share, and comments. And we love you.
Yep, we're on Facebook, we're on
Cheers.
Instagram, so hit us up. Hit us up separately if you'd like.
Don't
But
forget to
we'll
listen to our Spotify.
yes, Spotify too. So keep us posted if you guys ever need anything. But once again, we love you, we thank you, and we'll see you next time.
Bye
Take care.
bye.